¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Wednesday stream. How's it going, everybody? It is Wednesday. Welcome, Alio. Afternoon. Sorry, folks. I'm very tired today, so we're going to try to keep it on schedule. Marjorie Taylor Greene showed nudes pics of Hunter Biden and sex acts on congressional floor. Yeah, of course. This is not. I remember what I was talking about. When like all this like Hunter Biden nonsense started. That like really the only thing that they're thinking about is like showing and investigating Hunter Biden's like big dick and him banging a lot and using cocaine or whatever. Like, man. Imagine like that's like the best that they can do. What a big nothing burger. What a big nothing burger. All we got are just like sex tapes and Hunter Biden, you know, banging and doing coke. Damn. Trump's attorney makes a huge blunder in front of a large conservative audience. Accidentally exposed Trump's role in the fake elector scheme that is currently being investigated. Well, I hope they use that then. By Special Counsel Smith as charges against Trump loom. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Trump's attorney, Christina Bobb, set off alarms during Trump's inner circle when she declared today that Special Counsel Smith is threatening the 16 fake electors who were just charged. You mean threaten them with, like, legal action? It's against Twitch TOS. What, Hunter's dong? No, we'll just blur it out. It'll be alright. Wolf Glenn, since when do Republican vote dislike big dicks? True. No, we're not gonna show Hunter Biden's dong pictures that Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to put into the record. All right. No, I'm good. I don't. I'm good. All right. I think we get the picture, especially if you've been on Twitter. I mean, they did elect Trump. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. During the Oversight Committee IRS whistleblower hearing, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene showed multiple poster boards with a picture of Hunter Biden with naked women. Oh man, so this was under this was in an IRS whistleblower hearing? This wasn't even about like the famous like Hunter Biden laptop. I thought that was what that was about. This has nothing to do with any investigation into Hunter Biden? Is that what this is about? Or did that IRS whistleblower have something to do with it? When politics, sex, and money do go together. True. But I thought that this was like an investigation into like the Hunter Biden laptop thing. I okay. Well, I guess I was wrong. Miss Nixa, how's it going? Couldn't pay me enough to look at those pictures afternoon. Oh man. Leave it to the GOP. Classy stuff. Hey Heat, how's it going? Alright, couple of shout outs. I am Groot. I am Groot. Nah, unfortunately I don't have a low enough voice. Although I might be able to change it. Hope everyone is surviving the heat. Yeah, I mean we're a little bit lucky. We're on the luckier end of that. I know that a lot of people in like South Florida are really having a tough time, and in some the other central south kind of areas in the country are like triple digits. Whew. It's hot.
I am Groot.
Aw, that's not right. It's supposed to pitch down, not turn me into a robot. Boo. Alright, well. I tried, okay? Only 91. Only 91 degrees. South Orange County, California. Jeez. Phoenix was over 110 but no humidity. It's still hot, okay? I went to like Nevada and there's not a lot of humidity, but it doesn't matter, okay? It's still freaking hot. It's still freaking hot. It felt like a convection oven, okay? We got to cool down on Monday, but the heat is coming back. Sheesh. The entire valley of Oregon was under a heat advisory and still are. Yikes. Yeah, we went to Las Vegas, and it's hot. We went to Las Vegas when it was hot, years ago, and that that was years ago, and it was hot. Okay, it felt like I was being put, I was put to bake. That did not, you know, humidity or not, did not make it any better. I'm gonna be quite honest, or maybe I'm just not used to it. Maybe I wasn't used to it, but my grandparents live near Yuma, Arizona. It's triple digits as early as March. Yikes. That's not normal. Humidity makes it worse, but hot is hot. True. True. I mean, like, I know South Florida is getting is getting the worst end because not only is it hot, but it is humid. That's when things get dangerous for people and animals. Yep. Florida is subtropic, but the further towards the tip you get more, the more it becomes tropical weather, which is really hot and really humid. Yep. You can't even go into the shade or the pool. Yeah, that's what some of the folks are saying, that even if you go to the pool or go to like the ocean, first of all, the ocean is under a heat wave right now. The ocean is under a heat wave right now, so it's not like you can just go to the beach, okay? It's not like you can go to the beach. And if you go to the pool, it's so hot that you're just taking a warm bath, essentially. Good thing there's no climate change. True. Walter, how's it going? I'm just here for the TED Talk on the apocalypse. Oh man, happier thoughts. I held kittens in the grass today. That's adorable. All right, let's get some of these stories started. No pictures though, too busy holding kittens. That's cute. We can imagine. We'll just imagine it, right? Echo Resto Dragon, how's it going? Alrighty. Alright, so this has been circulating Twitter. So Nina Turner decided to make the most controversial of controversial takes by saying things like insulin should be free and medicine should be free, which obviously the concept being that nobody should be forced to pay at the point of service for life-saving medication. No ethical society, no moral society should have a system where something like insulin, which people need to live on the daily, it should cost them out-of-pocket money. We pay taxes for things for a reason. Medicine should be free. There shouldn't be a scenario where you have to reach into your pocket and pay money for medicine. No one should have to pay for any meds, period. True. Moral capitalism. Wait a minute. Let me stop laughing. Right, because it doesn't exist. As long as we have a for-profit system, it's not a thing. But anyways, so Nina Turner made the controversial statement of just medicine should be free. Insulin should be free. And leave it to the Libertarian Party. to jump to the most racist shit ever, unironically, and then like immediately respond with Nina Turner picking crops should be free. That's super fucked up on so many levels. Any daily needed medicines should be free. Yeah, I mean, like, just medicine and healthcare should just be a thing. That's not really a controversial statement. It's already like we know that this universal healthcare single payer system can exist. But yeah, there's no reason as to why one of if not the most wealthiest country on the planet cannot afford to make a system where people don't have to pay for medicine or healthcare. Quite frankly, is embarrassing. And the libertarians wonder why people don't take them seriously. Well, libertarians always end up just kind of like libertarians always just end up being this way. Never fails. Really, crops, did they have a video playing Dixie in the background? No, they know exactly what they were doing. They know exactly what they were trying to convey here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this wasn't an accident, okay? This wasn't an accident, or this wasn't like some elaborate, like, oh, we're just trying to make some, like, point about... Nah, because they tried to, like, play it off. They tried to play it off as saying, like, oh, we're just saying that, like, you know, forcing labor to make a item like insulin free is akin to chattel slavery ? So yeah, it's like that meme. It's like, you do know how that's worse, right? Hold on, let me find it. You do get how that's worse, right? There we go. Like, they literally just decided to do this meme by trying to compare fucking by trying to compare making a system of insulin for free, the same thing as slavery, as chattel slavery. So they literally did this meme. Welcome. Keeping it classy. Yeah, it's not just the New Hampshire libertarians. The other libertarians stepped in to make sure we got the picture. The point was that the government was going to have to negotiate a price, and the government would pay for it. Yeah, of course, but they know this. Like, why else would you select such a specific wording, right? Why else would you select that specific wording? To a black woman. Why would they select that wording to a black woman? What is the Libertarian Party? Something that no one should ever know about. So here they try to, like, play it off and say insulin should be free is equally offensive as calling for someone to be compelled to pick crops. So we know. So they're basically telling us exactly the imagery and point that they're trying to convey, except that's worse. That's worse because you're saying providing a governmental service like healthcare is the same as chattel slavery? Hoo boy. Insulin should be free, period. Yeah, it should. But yeah, well, listen, let's be honest. The Democrats aren't really moving on that front that much. Libertarian Party is a group of pedophiles debating the age of consent and racism. That explains why I found this on the floor. Are they joining Nick Fuentes? I mean, it's indistinguishable. Like, these people are indistinguishable. At the end of the day, they'll still vote. They'll still vote reactionary. Doesn't matter. I saw earlier that the Arizona Libertarian Party jumped in to defend them too. So, like, yeah. This is not just contained to this one libertarian account. It's just how they think. It's just how they think. Arizona's another whack state, to be honest. True. Yeah, it's very hot. It's very hot in a lot of places. There's also a lot of places in Europe that are currently... Whew! Very hot. New Hampshire is the Arizona of New England. Anyway, so yeah, this is the current discourse going on right now. It's almost Marjorie Taylor Greene showing Nick and Hunter Biden pics. Yeah, in an IRS hearing. I'm still confused. Did any of that IRS hearing had anything to do with Hunter Biden at all? Like, I'm actually genuinely confused. Did any of the IRS hearings have to do with Hunter Biden? Because, like, I know that he was under investigation for some stuff that he had to plead guilty to. But what's up with Hunter Biden? Did he not pay the taxes on the OnlyFans page for the dick pics? Well, wasn't he the one making the content? Because I'm pretty sure that if I understand my story right, he was the one making the films. He was the one that was making the sex tapes. What's up with Hunter Biden? A sitting representative, a deeply unserious sitting representative in Congress decided that what she was going to do in an IRS hearing an IRS whistleblower hearing. She was going to display pictures of Hunter Biden engaging in sex acts, and presumably this is all tied into the whole, treasure trove of Hunter Biden stuff that was found in his laptop. Question mark? Yeah. I'm still confused, by the way. I don't know if this IRS whistleblower hearing had anything to do with Hunter Biden. I actually, let's all admit it. Men with big dicks big enough to scare women would tend to take pictures. I guess. No, not only just pictures, but video, too. My man had a bunch of sex tapes, supposedly. Allegedly. Oh, wait, it did have to do, it did have to do with Hunter Biden. Maybe? Because the IRS whistleblower was being asked if Hunter Biden had violated any of the, tax acts, I guess, or some kind of other law. And some kind of weird movement of money to pay for said services. So I guess this is how it all tied in. So did they find who smoked weed in the White House? Nope. They didn't find... Not only did they not find whose coke that was, but the same goes for the pot. So, but Hunter pleaded out, yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I was confused as to why this was even a thing. But apparently the issue is how he paid for said activities. So this is all having to do with some kind of tax fraud or whatever. Your taxpayer dollars at work, folks. If you're gonna try to investigate Hunter Biden for tax fraud, did you really need to display the pictures that she did? Oh man. Why are they picking on Nina? Because they're racist as fuck. Welcome, Michael Hassler. There's cameras everywhere. Supposedly, nobody knows, okay? Nobody knows whose coke that was. Man. I'm gonna be honest. What probably happened is some aide, some advisor maybe, some aide that was there in the West Wing kind of maybe messed up, and they're just trying to forget about it because it wasn't really that big of a deal, and they're just all right, listen, nothing happened here, let's just move on. That's it. That's probably what ended up happening. Not gonna lie. I gotta get my fight on now. But yeah, they're picking on Nina because they're racist. I mean, like it's not it's not as deeper. It doesn't go deeper than that. I mean, like this account also has like posted some really dubious shit in the past. Especially the New Hampshire one, because I remember this. I remember specifically the Libertarian Party New Hampshire account. But yeah, so just to give you a summary, Michael Hassler, Nina Turner dared to say that medicine and insulin, insulin medicine in general, should be free. And of course, the immediate response to be Nina Turner picking crops should be free because racism. That's Biden's code. You need to stay awake during the press conferences. True. Okay, so that's how you get Dark Brandon. It's all coming together, folks. It's all coming together. That explains it. That's how you get Dark Brandon. It was Obama's weed. True. And then they doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down because they still kept posting through this, by the way. This isn't the end of their posts related to this. They still continue to post by trying to say that insulin should be free is equally offensive as calling someone to be compelled to pick crops, i.e., the government creating programs to help people because, you know, it's our taxpayer money anyways, such as healthcare, is exactly akin to chattel slavery. Yeah, that's where we're at. Man, those libertarians went full mask off. Yeah, I mean, like, I was telling, I forget the, you'd think the libertarians would be cool with cocaine in the White House. They haven't made a comment on that as far as I know. Free at the point of service equals no pay at all. Does not equal no pay at all. Right. We have taxes, at least, like, under the confines of our current system. Was it you that I responded to? Shoot, I can't remember, but I responded to somebody. Oh yeah, it was you. Like, exactly. Okay, so yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, like so it's really just this. It's really just this. Like they're just so like brazen. They're just so brazen because this is becoming more and more normalized. I mean, we have the same kind of sentiments at like the highest echelons of power. This is becoming normalized. I was saying yesterday that literally the leader of the America First movement, Nick Fuentes, one of the founders, outwardly and completely brazenly calling out for fucking like holy war against Jewish people. This is the same dude who literally had dinner with the former president and current frontrunner of the Republican Party. How close is deeply fucking concerning. The fact that people like Nick Fuentes have introduced sitting members of Congress. Nick Fuentes has ties to Republicans on the local, state, and federal level, which is ludicrous. All this to say that, yeah, the reason why this is happening, it's becoming more and more normalized, and they will continue to push, until they can't. She says college should be free. Yeah, but it's the healthcare and insulin that really got to them, which is quite telling too. But they're against this too. By the way, they would be absolutely against free at the point of service higher education. They're against that too. But really, it's the medicine. It's the medicine that would actually like tangentially help people, and something that people desperately need, like insulin. Like if you need insulin, you don't have a choice. You need insulin. Okay, this is a part of your life now. And that's what got them. That's what made the mask just go boop, gone. The GOP is playing to the least common denominator in regards to intelligence in a desperate attempt to remain in power. Definitely doesn't help. Yep. Make me dictator of the US for literally one day and I could fix this. It's just wild. And they're still going, by the way. They still like tried to they still tried to like post through it. And like here they like quadrupling down. To the point where the National Libertarian Party stepped in and was like, yeah, dude, we're yep, it's true. We're just gonna equate the idea of a government program providing a service free at the point of said service. It's literally the same thing as chattel slavery. I mean, like, and this is the National Libertarian Party. Insulin helps folks to have not other medical expenses. You save money. Having a yearly physical saves the insurance companies money. Yeah, of course, but like, my argument would be that there shouldn't be insurance companies for healthcare. It just shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, of course. And like the New Hampshire Libertarian Party is continuing to go on the same thing. These are the same people who think taxation is theft. Exactly. They're like so close. Yeah, they're still posting through it 2 hours ago. Oh my god. Oh man. Have we covered the Marge's open show yet? Briefly, because because just to kind of skirt any potential TOS problems. So basically, Marjorie Taylor Greene decided that she was just gonna post Hunter Biden dick pics and whatnot to make a case somehow for fraud. IRS like fraud. Okay. They forget that Ayn Rand died broken on Social Security. True. I mean, like, isn't that like the ultimate like libertarian like kind of deal, right? Ultimate irony. Because like libertarians will effectively recreate government. The difference is they want to be the ones in charge. That's the difference. All right. Let's shift some gears.
So if we're talking...
Okay. I think libertarian, the real ones, argue that consent and rights are above all else. They don't actually really care about that either. Well, the libertarians, the libertarians that exist here, the libertarians that exist here, don't care about either of those things. The libertarians here don't care about either of those things. Twitch TOS is against it. Is YouTube? I don't know. I don't know. Libertarians don't actually care about consent. They want to lower the age of consent to 12 and some even want to abolish them. Right. Exactly. Because they don't care about consent. A lot of libertarians are pick-me conservatives, but I'm attacking the true roots of libertarianism, not the Reddit bros and that are that way. That are the... Okay, I'm not getting it, but yeah, I think I get it. But I mean, like, they fly the flag. They fly the flag of libertarianism. All their, like, national status, in terms of, like, national party, state party, that's... that's what they advocate for, so I can't really distinguish the Reddit bros, the edgy Reddit bros, from the people running like national accounts and state accounts for the party here. Like that's just the libertarians. That's just how they are here. That's just what they are. I know that in a different era, libertarianism meant something else. But when we talk about libertarians now, in this context, that's what they are. All right. Let's talk about this. Here we have, first of all, Rising and all these adjacent shows are absolutely fucking infuriating for a lot of different reasons. But, so here we have Brianna Joy Gray attempt to perform Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to gaslight us into attempting to gaslight us as if we couldn't hear what RFK Jr. was saying. As if there's no video evidence. Okay? As if like this didn't exist and we're all like stupid or something. As if we can't hear. No, Brianna. We can hear. Okay? We have perfectly good ears. We heard and we read what RFK Jr. said. So please, don't attempt to gaslight us into not believing what we saw and heard and read. I didn't see it, and if you have proof, then it's out of context, it's damning, then it's AI generated. Welcome to the future. No. Perhaps in the Trumpian future, that logic might work. Oh no, not Bree. Oh yeah. Here we go.
So if we're talking about COVID, which has origins in China, that's the accusation here, and he did not make the accusation that China actually did it, but that there are theories.
Okay. So apparently, like, just to make sure that we're absolutely clear about what we're talking about, I'm actually going to bring up the clip because, like, just to make sure, I'm going to play the clip first and then let her continue. Just so that we have, like, a background to what's going on. Okay?
And we need to talk about bioweapons. The level, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The
So
Chinese have done the same thing.
Right off the bat, he's starting with, like, so we know what what his point is. Okay, he's talking about ethnically targeted bioweapons. Okay, that's what we're beginning with.
In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is.
So immediately he then transitions to, so COVID-19. There's an argument. So we start off by talking about how China and the U.S. I guess are spending hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted bioweapons? Question mark? Citation heavily needed. But anyways,
ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races.
so I mean, it can't be any more unambiguous than that. His claim is that COVID-19 targets certain ethnic groups. Okay? The claim is pretty freaking unambiguous. Was he talking about what Hitler dreamed of having? Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ethnically targeted, but he's not wrong about bioweapons and COVID possibly being something similar to that. We have no evidence of that. Like, we can't just make these claims. No, there's no evidence that COVID was a bioweapon. You just said possibly. You said in the same sentence, possibly being something, and then actually a lot of evidence that supports that. It makes it sound like that's conclusive. So it can't be possibly, and then a lot of evidence. Which one is it? Do you see the problem here? It's because there's no evidence to suggest that this was a bioweapon. Anyways. Okay, so which groups were not targeted? You'll never guess. You'll never guess, Wolf Glenn. You'll never fucking guess. It's not conclusive, but there's plenty of evidence to show it could be genetically altered strain released to the pub. Yeah, okay, so we could say that, like, there's no conclusiveness, but there's definitely, like, I don't know, aliens. This doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything. So there is no evidence. These are theories. These are theories that you could possibly make up if you shine it in the right light. This means nothing. This literally means nothing. So unless you have evidence to say or to present that says, oh, this definitely was a bioweapon, then yeah, it would be nice to have, but we don't really have that evidence because it doesn't exist. Specifically, like, to even take it a step forward, to make the claim that he is making, that not only is it a bioweapon, but that it is an ethnically targeted bioweapon, is just wild. And yes, Wolf Glenn. Yes, Wolf Glenn. No, I don't want points from a YouTuber. I want, like, evidence from studies or some kind of, like, conclusive data that we can point to. I don't care about a YouTube. I don't care about a YouTube video. I'm gonna be honest. I'm be honest.
Disproportionately. The races that are most immune to
Wait for it. The races that are most immune. Wait for it.
COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure, genetic differentials among different races of the receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and
No, there's no evidence of this claim.
black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. He is a medical doctor and has a PhD in virology, right? Nope. Johnny, I'm a journalist, not an expert in any scientific field. Harris, yeah, I don't even know. Like, the moment you tell me, like, the moment you tell me, I saw it in a YouTube video. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. Anyways, I'm going to my mechanic to diagnose my health issues. I always get a pilot to treat my dog illness too. I don't appreciate the way you're tagging me for saying there's a good video on it when the next thing I said is that when I went on a Vive debate, I went through it through WHO documentation that backed up evidence. That's great. Can we see some of that evidence? I'm attacking the source, not you. Why do you feel attacked when I'm attacking the source? Leftists need to learn to take different perspectives. Yeah, I've seen it and I've heard it. It's just nonsense. Like you think you're misconstruing, misinterpreting, listening to the other side and acknowledging that it's or a different perspective and then acknowledging it. Like that's like saying like, oh, you really have to take the perspective of a flat earther. Like, damn, leftists really need to learn to take different perspectives. Like flat earth. No, we don't. We've already been through this. We know that it's bullshit. Does that make sense? Like, here we are listening to different perspectives, okay? We went through this and then showed why it's bullshit, okay? Because this is on the same plane as flat earth, as flat earthers. This is on the same plane as climate change denial. Which Farron Cousins pointed out that when he made the comparison of flat earthers and climate change denial, this dude, who has posted climate change denial, by the way, got all flustered and triggered. Like, yeah, bro, we listen to the different perspectives of climate change denial, and we come to the conclusion that it's bullshit, okay? Like, this idea that, people don't just want to listen to the other perspective. No, we've heard it. It's just nonsense. We're listening to it now. It's just nonsense. I just pour everything into everything I see through my industrial science BS filter to look for facts and reality and objective truth. True, I need a pair of those. Can I get a pair of those? Can I get a filter?
But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not. But there are papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all of those labs in the Ukraine are about. They're collecting Russian DNA. They're collecting Chinese DNA.
This is
So we
ludicrous.
can target people by race. Are about they're collecting Russian DNA. They're impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all of those labs in the Ukraine.
No evidence for this. Left flank vets coming in with a party of 294. Welcome, everybody. Is this from the fart dinner? Yep. Welcome, everybody. Folks! Yes, he is a fake. Who, RFK Jr.? Yes. Easy Payments, thank you for the follow. Welcome, 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 everybody. Shazabam, thank you for the follow. Hey, folks, if you have not seen me before, I am a Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See homies in the Morbin. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't already, please make sure you follow twitch.tv/leftflankvets and follow them on Twitter as well. Thank you for the follow. Abon, welcome. RFK overdosed on his own Kool-Aid, and I pity him for that. He used to be somewhat okay. Maybe, maybe not. Based on who he associated with and who he associates with, who's propping him up now, I don't know. Anyways. So I think we get the picture, right? Like I'm pretty sure, like, for the folks who have already for the folks who are coming in, so I mean, I'm pretty sure by this time a lot of you have already seen this video. RFK makes the just wild claim that COVID is a bioweapon, and it is a ethnically targeted bioweapon, specifically targeting Caucasians and black people is what his claim was. And also, of course, with ending things on the anti-Semitic shit, where he then says that apparently COVID-19 was ethnically designed to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people? Question mark. So I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of you have already seen this video. But the whole point of me going through it again is to then juxtapose this to Brianna Joy Gray's defense of RFK Jr. So let's watch Joy Gray perform Olympic levels of mental gymnastics. Didn't know there was a video. What, of RFK? Yeah, if you want yeah, if you want the video, I'll post it in chat. Here. You can go to this one here. So now that we have that, hey, Savinon Citizen. I remember your username. You hang out a lot in the Majority Report, I want to say. You hang in the Majority Report chat room. I'm pretty sure. Hey, that's me. Yeah, right. There we go. Bray's become such a disappointment. It's a shame. Yeah, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Oh, man. But yeah, like the Rising and all these adjacent programs, the Hill Rising and whatever. Yeah. Yikes. So yeah, let's watch her perform Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to attempt to justify what we all just heard. You know what? It's a minute. All right, we'll just play it. It's literally a minute and 48 seconds. We'll just play it so that, like,
And we need to talk about bioweapons.
and so that there's absolutely no confusion as to what's going on and what she's going to try to justify and gaslight people, essentially, because, like, don't believe your don't believe your ears, don't believe your lying eyes. She's trying to gaslight you, essentially, like.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. The level, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately.
Like, you could even just, like, debunk this on its face, right? Because there's no actual evidence that COVID-19 was designed to target certain races. There are certain groups of people that were disproportionately affected, but that's not necessarily because of their race. Like, for example, in this country, which has a for-profit healthcare system, poor people obviously got the worst end. And who disproportionately are poor? Yeah, people of color. So COVID-19 So COVID-19 had a disproportionate effect on people of color. But it's not because necessarily of a race factor necessarily, not that we know of. There could be other things to explain this, is my point. There's evidence that the moon could be made of green cheese. It is possible. That's right. Some people are saying. I like to think she could be redeemed, but she keeps giving me reasons to doubt that. Sorry to give you another one. But is RFK any kind of doctor or medical professional? No. So, I mean, like, the fact that we even have to go that far is already, like, ludicrous in and of itself, because, like, exactly, Alio, we can just stop right there. Like, we could literally just stop at, hey, hold on, sir, Mr. RFK Jr. Exactly, what are your qualifications to make these claims? You know?
The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure, genetic differentials among different races of the risk.
And, like, to think, like, wait a minute, to have such large differentials in genetics between races, so that you could create a ethnically targeted. I'm sorry, what? Does this make any sense? Like, just on its surface, like, even with my own limited understanding of biology, this just doesn't make any sense. Well, he is writing a book. Targeting to protect one ethnicity would be crazy. Targeting two very different ethnicities would be insane. Light years beyond their technology. Yeah, and to say, like, there's genetic differences of what? Like, point 0.00000, like, the genetic difference would be so, like, infinitesimally small. And you're saying that we could target that question mark with a virus? I mean, like, just like on its surface, it's just bullshit. I keep hearing that it's because he was a lawyer, he used to read science studies. Yeah, it doesn't make you the expert. Okay, listen, I read a lot of studies, and it's hard. Okay, it's hard to parse out, like, what it actually means. It's one thing, like, it's one thing to read studies, and it's another thing to understand and be able to grasp what said study is telling you. The virus asks, what's your last name before infecting you? True. Have you read The Bell Curve, RFK Jr.? People with certain receptors either get some things more or less because people. That may be the case, but to say that we have the ability then the ability to target that at such a what can only be described as like a surgical precision, to say, like, oh, we, you know, these ethnic groups are going to be spared, these ethnic groups are going to be targeted. What? I also read studies, and RFK is misreading. Probably, maybe because he's not a person qualified for this stuff. It would not be perfect, however, there are different genetic strings in the junk DNA. We are not there yet. Let's just put it this way. There are many 3-letter agencies that would like a genetic marker to kill someone, and they're researching this at DOD. Right, but to say that we have that capability and to deploy it on such a scale with a virus, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. RFK Jr. has a Bachelor of American History, Master of Environmental Law, and Law Doctor from... Yeah, okay, so none of them qualify him to really make these claims and in an authoritarian in an authoritative manner. It smells like white supremacy ideas. Oh, the ending is the kicker. All right, give it a second. Give it a couple seconds. Came in with the raid. Hope all is well. Hey, Surfer McGrady, how's it going? So the Chinese are cartoonishly evil and infinitely capable of anything. Yeah, up to and including somehow making a virus that only targets that disproportionately targets Caucasians and black people, and somehow manages to spare specifically Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese, of course. What? All right, so Shazabam, wait for it. Wait for the kicker, all right? It's coming.
Receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. But we don't know whether it was deliberately targeted that or not, but there are
So wait, in the same sentence, he's like, "Wait, we don't know if it's deliberately targeted, but we do know that we're doing bioweapons to target ethnic groups." Yeah, okay, dude. Okay, dude. Oh man, yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's all quackery, and the jump from one human to another would be easier from one mammal to another. So even if we could target that precisely, there's no logical way to guarantee it wouldn't jump to untargeted populations, right? And like, can you imagine? How would you explain the? How would you explain the fact that like this virus and this particular virus like mutated and changed itself pretty freaking fast? It underwent a lot of different mutations. Exactly what you're saying. How do you know that one of those mutations is like, listen, I'm a virus, okay? I need to survive and I need to get as many hosts as possible. Why would it just be targeting like certain, like, why would it be pigeonholing itself and reducing its ability to do its thing? It's a virus. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, accidentally targeted to spare Chinese by the Chinese, but also they're investing in ethnically targeted bioweapons, ? But maybe it's accidental. It just, none of this makes any sense, okay? So I'm not even going to try. Coincidence is my proof. Yeah. Never mind like the other different factors that might have explained why certain groups might have been disproportionately affected. I don't know. What does the healthcare look like in that country? If it was a bioweapon, the death toll would have been at least 20 times higher. Yep. Right, like, Kitty explained, like, you know, a lawyer would say. Huh. Something like, you know, like a lawyer would say. Anyways.
Papers out there that show the racial and ethnic differential impact to that. We do know that the Chinese are spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing ethnic bioweapons, and we are developing ethnic bioweapons. That's what all of those labs in the Ukraine are about. They're collecting Russian DNA, they're collecting Chinese DNA, so that we can target people by race.
Yeah, okay, so now that we got, like, the background to this, alright, let's watch Olympic levels of mental gymnastics. Yeah, we're about to watch it. This Steve guy.
So if we're talking about COVID, which has origins in China, the accusation here, and he did not make the accusation that China actually did it, but that there are theories that given that bioweapons research exists, that some people think that COVID could be a part of it. That seems like a bit of a conjecture, but not necessarily the craziest thing to say in an off-the-record conversation.
Except that's not, we all just, okay, so everybody just heard what RFK Jr. said, right? everybody just heard what he just said. So now we're pulling back and saying, like, well, it's not really that out of the pocket to say that, like, the U.S. is making bioweapons, or that the U.S. and China are making bioweapons. That's not all he said. He was very, very fucking explicit. Bioweapons don't even need to be viruses.
And then the next leap, which is not necessarily connected to it, is there is some evidence that COVID affects some populations more than others.
No, he literally made that link directly. He started off that segment like I mean, like this is just ludicrous. He started off saying that, like, we spend a whole bunch of money on ethnically targeted bioweapons, is what he said, and then he immediately transition that to the COVID-19 thing. We all heard it.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. The level, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and you know, the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that
In fact, COVID-19 is what he says. This is unambiguous. And then she's telling us that we didn't hear what we just heard. She's literally telling her audience that, like, yeah, you just didn't hear, you just didn't hear what we literally all just heard. Okay? And you could tell that she's, like, kind of, like, just trying to fumble around, performing, like, Olympic levels of mental gymnastics, okay? And you could tell she's, like, trying to struggle here.
Seems like a bit of a conjecture, but not necessarily the craziest thing to say in an off-the-record conversation. And then the next leap, which is not necessarily connected to it, is...
No, it wasn't just a leap. It was a direct... we all heard it. It was direct.
There is some evidence that COVID affects some populations more than others.
Why, though?
Which we all know to be
like
true.
many other
Why? That's pretty important, Brianna Joy Gray. That is very important. Why? That's like saying, like, you know what? I think that COVID-19 was designed to only affect... I think that that this is like making the claim... it's about as... it's the same. COVID-19 was engineered to disproportionately affect Americans. I mean, they did have a disproportionate amount of deaths, did they not? Yes. So therefore, COVID-19 was designed to target Americans. Hey, quick question. What is the healthcare system like in America? Just real quick. Does that make sense? It's like saying guns are designed to kill poor people because they're the ones who die the most by guns. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Causation versus correlation. Yep. And we're just super unhygienic. I don't know if that was a meme comment, but no, this has nothing to do with that.
diseases like many other...
Right, because there are ethnic disease patterns. Black people get sickle cell anemia. Ashkenazi Jewish people suffer from Tay-Sachs disease. White people suffer from sickle cell...
Yes, all of these things are the exact same thing as COVID. What does this have to do with COVID? What does this have to do with a virus, and what does this have to do with the claim that he specifically made that it was engineered to target specific ethnic groups? We're just not going to address that.
What is it? Cystic fibrosis. I mean, there's all of these kind of these variations exist.
True, the existence of sickle cell anemia means RFK is not a crank. Exactly. True.
But to acknowledge the variation is now being characterized as doing race science in and of itself.
No. He didn't just say like, "Oh, I think that like I'm just making an observation that COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting certain groups." He's not just saying that, okay? Because yes, we know that. We know, at least here in the United States, to my understanding, okay, I could be, I might have, I could be wrong, but to my understanding, COVID-19 disproportionately hurt Black and brown people. But the immediate follow-up question is, why? Well, look at the state of our healthcare system. So he didn't just say, like, "Oh, well, I just made this observation." He literally said, in fact, COVID-19 was like an ethnically, engineered bioweapon. People that had to work to survive and were exposed, for one thing. Yes. Brainworms even target people with specific political ideologies.
Itself?
I mean,
So
obviously, like, people are saying like, "Oh, this is not what he was saying at all," and she knows that. She knows that. She's got to know. It's on fucking video. And then to have the audacity to say that we all just sat here, all of us here, and just sat here and heard what he said. And it's like, well, it's just making an observation, bro. I mean, like, to say that, like, it's the same thing as pointing out how, like, sickle cell anemia affects certain groups of people, and how, I think she mentioned Tay-Sachs disease affects certain people. Like, what? We're talking about COVID. We're talking about COVID-19, a virus, for one thing. And for two, the claim was that this was ethnically engineered to target certain ethnic groups or spare certain ethnic groups. So why didn't she address that claim? Anyone know who the guy to the left is? Which one? Like, to her left? To her left or to this guy's left? Or, I guess, yeah, on the left screen. To RFK's right, to the left of the screen. I don't know, to be honest, but his reaction there is kind of everything. He kind of gave an eye roll, you can see. But anyways, yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Anyways, yeah, this is where we're at. Where we're performing Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to try to defend something we all very clearly heard. In fact, she never actually addressed She never actually addressed his claims. John, no, he does not. He does not.
How to open your car door.
Whoa.
Over the last several days, Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has repeatedly made some of the most outrageous claims about January 6th that I think I've ever heard. It all started this past Friday when Ramaswamy did his little interview with Tucker Carlson in Iowa, where he actually told Tucker Carlson that the reason January 6th, the Capitol riot happened in the first place was because of censorship. Like that's what January 6th was all about. It wasn't because Trump's election lies. It wasn't because he told the crowd at the Stop the Steal rally to fight like hell. No. It was censorship, he says. On Monday of this week, he spoke with Charlie Kirk, where he not only doubled down on that, but he expanded upon it and said not only was it the censorship, but it was the so-called COVID lockdowns that caused the Capitol riot. That's what people were really mad about that.
Yes, the Stop the Steal rally was about COVID lockdowns. Yeah. That's what happened. The idea of vaccinating people against COVID and RSV, I'm too overprotective. But yeah, I mean, you should be vaccinated. This is not like, this is not a controversial freaking concept. We've been doing this for, a long time. We've been doing this for hundreds of years. Like the concept of inoculation and vaccination have been like a thing.
Day, like, oh man, we're censored and we had to stay home for a little bit so we didn't kill each other with a deadly virus. So let's storm the Capitol. But it was the comments that happened in between Friday and Monday that I think everybody needs to focus on a little more. Because during the Turning Point Action Conference in Florida on Saturday, Vivek Ramaswamy, who is currently in third place in the Republican presidential primary.
Only in Florida, folks. All right.
Said this about January 6th. And what I said on stage at the conference is you tell people they cannot scream, that is when they tear things down. And my concern, Charlie, is unless we reconcile ourselves with what the truth of the matter was that led to January 6th, that's really just going to be a friendly preview of what's to come in this country.
Holy shit. I mean, if that doesn't tell us everything, I don't know what. I mean, like, is it really that out of pocket to imagine that these delusional people, because I've talked about this before, should there be a scenario where it ends up being Trump versus Biden, which it pretty much more than likely it is going to be a Trump versus Biden general election, right? Like we all kind of just like understand that that's probably what is going to end up being the case, right? If it ends up being a Trump v. Biden election and that election ends up being a very close election and Biden wins that election, these people are going to lose their shit. Yeah, so much to unpack. Like these people are gonna do domestic terrorism. They're gonna do insurrection part 2. And it's gonna be worse. And it's gonna be worse. If it comes to that. If it comes to that and these people at the 11th hour decide to commit, it's going to be worse than January 6th. Regardless, they'll lose their shit. Yeah, but what I mean, let me rephrase that. What I mean is that like the whole purpose, because he's pretending to like be aloof, like, oh, well, unless we reconcile with what the truth of the matter was that led to January 6th. We all fucking know it was called Stop the Steal. We know what the fuck the oranges of that insurrection was. We know who inspired it. We know who egged it on. We know who was cheering it on. Mr. Hey, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. 30 months. Believe them when they are telling you this. They are serious. Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm bringing this up, and that's why I'm pointing this out. If it comes down to it, if there is a scenario where there is a very close election and Biden wins, I mean, because like, let's be honest, it's probably a likely outcome, right? I mean, we're looking at a very close election as it is, and if Biden wins that election, that's going to be like they're just going to go like, if they end up committing for real, they're going to do something worse than January 6th. Yeah, they will definitely not accept the results at all. They already didn't. They already didn't. Going to lose? What country have you been? You know what I mean. They're already in full denial mode. They already believe that the 2020 election was stolen, right? They already believe the 2020 election is stolen. So if the Democratic candidate wins this one, I mean, all bets are off.
It's a preview of what's to come in this country, Mr. Ramaswamy says that he said
right,
at the Turning Point Action Conference. January
all those
6th
people,
was
SB
just
Harkin.
a preview. Just a little appetizer, and the main course is yet to come. Now, I don't know about you, but the way I interpret that is that that's a threat.
Yeah, 100%.
That 100% to me sounds like a threat, not just against the government of the United States, but of the threat against the United States itself. Saying that, oh, that riot, that was a preview of what's to come. I don't know, to me, kind of sounds like the type of thing that maybe this dude needs to get the Secret Service knocking on.
Yeah, like the same fucking comment from Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? She said that, oh, if it was me and Bannon planning this shit, we would have won. Because we would have brought guns. Do you not think it will be just grifting truckers trying to tie traffic up? Because I think they will only lose their crap if they're directed to. Roger Stone and they're kind of primed already. I mean, they've been primed for what, 3 years now? More than 3 years? That if they don't win, then the election was stolen. If they don't win, then the election is stolen. They've been primed for this for years and years and years. They will not accept the result of the election if they lose. I think it doesn't matter if they're being directed or not. I think the damage is done. I think the damage is done. Like, that's the whole point of stochastic terrorism, right? That's the whole point of stochastic terrorism. Like, you're not telling these people to, oh, go do an insurrection. At no point did Donald Trump say, go to the Capitol and do an insurrection. No. He just said, well, no, they're stealing from you. They're stealing this election from you. This election is rigged. You need to take back your country. You need to save your country. You need to fight like hell. You need to be real patriots. Right, there we go, there we go. Oh no, yeah, he said to go to the Capitol, but he never said at any point to, like, do an insurrection. Never at any point did he say storm the Capitol and do an insurrection. But yeah, like the conditioning is what I'm getting at. Like, telling people, like, oh, you need to be angry and you need to be ready to fight and you need to save your country, and they're the ones that are rigging this election. There's no other recourse, okay? Everything is corrupt, okay? Everything is corrupt but me. That's why I need to get Trump on January 6th, because the next one he won't have to be involved at all. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it doesn't matter at this point. The pump is primed. Also, they just happen to have a gallows handy. The fact that people entered the Capitol without knowledge of its layout is unbelievable, and I don't think the public will get as lucky with such incompetent people doing such weighted crimes. I mean, the next one, if they seriously commit to doing that, it would be worse. Because, like, these people had weapons caches in a nearby state. These people had plans to deploy quick reaction forces that were armed and would bring weapons to the Capitol. So they had an idea and they had a plan. They just didn't commit to it. They just didn't commit. They had the resources. They had the weapons. In fact, they were found seditious. And all of this came out on the trials. They had the weapons cache. They had people ready. And they had a plan. Right, they were LARPers, but next time maybe not. That's exactly my point. Like, maybe next time, maybe this time, especially if it's the same thing, you know, Trump versus Biden, and then Biden wins by a small margin. Yeah, they may not, you know, low energy, sad. The mass amount of people that were on the Capitol grounds were unathletic buffoons. I do see your point about weapons, but I think these groups look embarrassing stupid. I don't think they will let it happen again. I don't know. I do not want to underestimate them. A lot of these people were veterans. And a lot of these groups are made of veterans, not only just of former military, but police too. Some even active police and active military. Right, more than just LARPers, in the sense that, yeah, some were military, former military, and some even active. Remember how we all said good things? Trump isn't competent enough to do such to get much done. Well, his advisors are advising him hard. I feel the stakes are a little bit are much higher. Yeah, I think so. Biden and Trump rematch will lead to lots of violence at the polls too. Maybe. We saw that in the midterms, there was armed people in certain places. I forget the story exactly. Armed people at polls 2022. Yeah, this didn't happen that long ago, folks. This wasn't like that long ago. This was November. I'm more worried about his arrest and charges that will actually stick. What they will do. Kari Lake threatens mass gun violence in defense of Donald Trump. If you want to get President Trump, you're going to have to go through me and 75 million Americans just like me and card-carrying members of the NRA. Jesus. I mean, there's so many, like, points of Tinder that it's very concerning what these domestic terrorists can do. Yeah, incredibly illegal. You remember Trump has called for violence and impromptu in his rallies. It has not worked so far. I don't know. I would say that yeah, it has worked. He has committed stochastic terrorism. Yeah.
His door for maybe the FBI.
Quiet Line, thank you for the follow.
Because I don't know how you can interpret that any other way than reading it as a very clear threat by saying that that Capitol riot was but a preview of what's to come. Not a preview of what could happen later, but a preview of what's to come. He is making it, by the words he used, sound like inevitably something worse is coming. He didn't stop there either. In his interview with Charlie.
Yeah, this is like stochastic terrorism, right? Like there's no other way around it. There's no other way of describing it. Right, it's a call to arms without saying, anything. Stochastic terrorism, that's what this is. That's what it literally is. And this is in a Charlie Kirk interview. Remember, there was a guy that came to his show and said, "When do we get to use the guns?" Remember that clip? Man, like sometimes I feel like people need to be reminded of this consistently so that it kind of all ties together, right? Because like sometimes like the way the internet and cycles work, it's just all too fast. But yeah, easy payments. Remember the guy that came up to Charlie Kirk and was like, "When do we get to use the guns?" I mean, they understand. It's on the same show, the same audience. They know exactly what they're hearing. They know what they have to do.
Charlie Kirk, he said, "You were told that all of the grievances and vengeance that you wanted to get up on the table, you could do."
Like, I wish that mainstream media would be better about like hammering this down like consistently, because this isn't the next this isn't the next cycle, as if like all the other things haven't happened, like they're just to be forgotten. Like mainstream media needs to be way more responsible and be like, hey, not only is another Republican presidential candidate essentially advocating for insurrection part 2, but like this isn't a new thing either, and it's on a show where clearly the audience of the host understands what they are talking about. I would like the media to just do talking points. We don't need their opinions. I can form my own. It depends. If it's an opinion show, then it's an opinion show. Media can be opinions. If you don't like opinions, then don't watch opinion shows. I don't understand. Why would you even make that comment? Because Libbrain cannot confront this reality, and the media is Libbrain, so it's easy for people to just keep their heads in the sand. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. People on the right, like Charlie Kirk and Alex Jones, just say it's just entertainment, but their viewers seem to disagree. They get the message. A-Bomb with the 100 biddies. Jeff Shirley makes a good point, though, in saying that the majority of these people are all talk, especially the baby boomers, but the threat of violence is still real. I just don't think it's going to be another Union versus Confederacy level of clashing. No, I mean, I don't think so. Certainly people like Tim Pool would like it to be so, since he talks about Civil War every other fucking day. But the point being is that, yeah, I don't know. I do think that the proclivity of violence is getting higher and higher and higher. And I think that the willingness to commit to acting out said threat of violence is getting higher and higher and higher. And these people like Charlie Kirk, the people that he hosts, the Republican Party, because this is all part of like the same kind of, sphere, all of them continue to egg and pour gasoline and are holding that match and just ready to drop it. And whatever happens, happens. That's basically the plan here for them.
That through an election, through the democratic process. You couldn't even send that article on your social media accounts to individual people without being silenced. And of course, he's talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story, so I guess Mr. Ramaswamy thinks millions of people were just angry that they couldn't see Hunter Biden's junk.
Now, I think that's projection on his part. I mean, like, these people who are, like, super obsessed with, like, the Hunter Biden thing, and after knowing what was on the laptop, like, come on, bro. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene literally fucking showcasing this in a hearing about supposed tax fraud. Nothing to do with whatever, Congress saw his junk today. Yeah, exactly. So, like, this had nothing to do, whatever. Listen, if you just want to see Hunter Biden's dong, that's fine. That's okay. Just go for it. It's there. It's all good. All right? They want to burn it down in the movement to take power. Cowards and cheaters. Yep. There you go.
Which is why that story...
Opinion media helps fuel that. Hate will continue to grow on both sides. Would you agree? I have left... no, this is not a both sides thing. This is literally just one side that's doing this. The hog is now on public record. True. No, this is only one side. There's only one side pushing election denialism to the point of inspiring insurrectionary behavior. Like, there's only one side pushing for violence of this scale, and that's the far right. That's it. Like, there's only one side here. Like, sorry, I reject this. I reject this characterization of, like, well, both sides are angry and hateful, or whatever the fuck that even means. No, sorry. I reject that characterization because it's just not true. There's only one side fueling this kind of violence. There's only one side that keeps pushing this violence. The libs do other annoying things. True.
Partially was actually pulled, even though it was only pulled for a couple days before it was then allowed to be spread. He goes on, I think January 6th was the culmination of what you see when our culture censors people from speaking.
Now, January 6th was a culmination of Donald Trump priming the pump. Donald Trump and the Republican Party priming the pump about election denialism and saying that it was going to be rigged even before the ballots were even cast. Even before the ballots were even cast, months before. I know because I did a video on it. The dude kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing.
First of all, nobody was censored from speaking. Second of all, the government didn't censor anybody from speaking. It was Donald Trump's government that was in power at the time that all of this happened that was actively petitioning Twitter to censor people because they were critical of Donald Trump. That was the only government attempt at censorship, so let's make sure we're crystal clear on that, Mr. Ramaswamy. We had lockdowns in this country. told you had to hide in your basement, stay locked down, while Black Lives Matter and Antifa roamed the cities of this country freely, burning many of them to the ground.
True, dude. Many cities across the country don't exist anymore, folks. It's very true. Right, they qualified too. If I lose, then it's rigged. Exactly. That was almost like verbatim, word for word logic that was deployed here for months and months and months. Yeah, rip Minneapolis and Portland. They just burned to the ground, folks. They just don't exist. They just don't exist. Rip NYC, Seattle. They're all gone. They're just gone, folks. Gone. Sorry.
Name one, you SOB. Name one city that burned to the ground. You said many, so name one. Show me pictures of entire cities burned to the ground. Did arsonists set fires? Yeah. Did a couple buildings get burned? Yeah.
But they have a few, okay, yeah, anyways, none of this is actually a concern or an actual problem. So yeah, we've taken that concern into consideration and we've realized that it's bullshit. Okay, so no, they have no point here. There's no evidence to even have concerns about mail-in ballots. There never was. Because there was no evidence for it. We looked into it. So we can just kind of drop that, okay?
Did even an entire block ever get burned down? Nope, that's not a thing that happened, you friggin' liar. And of course, he continued. And we're going to be sanctimoniously indicting one individual without actually taking a long...
Whoa! Not just one individual. Not just one individual. A lot of states had mail-in ballots even before years before that. Yeah, like, oh, now this is the election that's the problem, right? Nah, whatever, dude. Their concerns are fucking. They're just made up. Okay, it doesn't exist.
Hard look in the mirror, I think every American has to look, especially much of the left in this country that denounces January 6th and the supposed threats to our democracy.
It's not a supposed threat. It's pretty explicit.
Everyone in this country has to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves what role each of us played.
Oh, shit. Dude. True. It's actually all of our faults. Oh, man. Listen. The reason why I'm behaving in an insurrection, the reason why I'm acting out and performing an insurrection is actually your fault too. Okay, you see, you made me do this. You made me do this. Jesus Christ, you made me do this. That's a bit of a red flag, right? That's abuser logic. That's fucking abuser logic. The real insurrection was the friends we made along the way. True. I'm sorry for J6, everyone. Yeah, actually, the real reason why all this violence happened is because it's your fault. You need to take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I smearing crap on the Capitol walls, okay? Jesus.
In getting to that day. All right. You wanted it, you got it. I'll take a good hard look in the mirror right now. What did I do that led us to January 6th? Well, both here and over at Ring of Fire, I was doing videos warning about the dangers, the threats being posted online by Trump supporters saying they were going to do something on January 6th. I was trying to alert people to the dangers. I was going out every day in video, again, both here and over at Ring of Fire, debunking Donald Trump's election lies.
Me too. Hey, me too. What, that's a gaslighting sentence? What the Republican candidate said? Ramaswamy? Yeah, I mean, like, it's classic, like, it's literally like it's abuser logic, right? Like, I understand that, like, you know, I understand that it was my side that performed all the violence, but you need to have a good look in the mirror. You too, okay? You need to have a good look in the mirror, and you need to figure out what your role was in making me do that. What? Bro, really?
that day. That's what I was doing. What were you doing, Mr. Ramaswamy? What were you doing? Here's the thing. Ramaswamy understands how bad January 6th is, how bad it was, and how bad it's going to be for the 2024 election, which of course is why he's trying to recast the entire history. It wasn't about a stolen election. It was about Black Lives Matter not being on lockdown. If you look at the defenses used by the Capitol rioters that, of course, have gone to jail.
Yes! Yes, they literally said that. The Proud Boys is, no, was it the Oath Keepers? I'm pretty sure it was the Oath Keepers. No, shoot, I can't remember. One of the domestic terrorist groups said that, we shouldn't be, held for this charge because we were actually acting under the direction of Trump. That was their last Hail Mary at the end before sentencing. Before the jury, did their thing. They literally said, "Oh, well, you shouldn't even be looking at us. We did this at the direction of Trump, or we did this because of Trump." Hold on. Proud Boys blamed Trump as defendants prepared to find out their fate in the seditious trial. An attorney for the Proud Boys told jurors the prosecutors were using him as a scapegoat for Trump, and jurors will begin deliberation. This was actually their last Hail Mary. A lawyer for the other domestic terrorists said that the defendants S, capital S, came to Washington because their commander-in-chief told them it would be wild. All right.
They have gone into court and told judges and juries that, yeah, I did it because Donald Trump told us to do it because he said the election was stolen. None of them have...
Right, it was called Stop the Steal. They had flags and T-shirts.
Lockdowns. None of them are saying that it was the censorship of the Hunter Biden story. Not one of them has said that, actually, in their legal defenses. Not one. Mr. Ramaswamy is, in fact, lying because he's a traditional Republican, and that's all they know how to do. Hey, everyone. This is Aspen.
Cute pupper. Anyways. Yeah, I think we understand what's going on over here. Deeply disturbing stuff because this does make me nervous. Yeah, merchandising the insurrection. Like this really does make me nervous because like if the last election they felt the need to plan and gather enough resources to buy a bunch of guns and ammo, and then to stash those guns and ammo. The guy, the Oath Keepers, spent more than $10,000. The Oath Keepers spent more than $10,000 on guns and ammunition. They planted bombs, pipe bombs, the day before. And this was just this election. It is very, very concerning. And it is not out of the realm of possibility that next time they might be more willing to commit and go through with worse acts of violence. Imagine having 10,000 that you could just spend on useless shit like that. Yeah, they literally spent more than 10,000 to store to grab rifles or ammunition or whatever. and then store it in a nearby state, and then plan to have people there to shuttle it in. I'm interested to know why that plan didn't work. They literally just didn't go through with it. That's it. That's literally it. They decided to just not go through with it. Why? I have no idea. But yeah, they had a massive weapon cache. Taking the stand in a seditious conspiracy case against the Oath Keepers, Terry Cummins showed an AR-15 firearm and an orange box of ammunition that he contributed to the so-called Quick Reaction Force the Oath Keepers staged at a hotel outside of Washington in case they needed weapons. I had not seen that many weapons in one location since I was in the military. I mean, like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is testimony in the trial. This is testimony under oath in the trial. So, yeah, I mean, this pretty much kind of paints the picture I'm trying to say. The right wants their flock to be like the loyals of suicide bombers. They saw 9/11 and said, goals. Yep. I mean, they're domestic terrorists, right? All right. So we're just gonna fly by some of these headlines because I'm running out of time. But pretty much there is an update. The Trump criminal trial target letter. We have potential laws that he's going to be indicted, or statutes that he's going to be indicted on, which include witness tampering and conspiracy. So maybe those are the charges that he might be indicted for if the jury votes for it. I don't really think they expected they'd get to break into the Capitol, so they weren't really prepared. Maybe. But whatever the case may be, they just did not go through with it. But maybe they might not. Maybe they'll be more willing to commit next time, which is deeply disturbing. All right, so as we know, like, again, I'm sorry that I have to like go through like a lot of these headlines. Do they think that capturing the building would then grant them magic powers? I don't know. Next time, you better bet they'll be prepared. Yeah, not just prepared, more willing to commit. So just to kind of fly by through some of these headlines, remember that a bunch of Republicans decided that they were going to bring back or severely peel back child labor laws and allow children to work in very dangerous conditions, including meatpacking plants and other dangerous situations, and then relieve companies of liability. Remember that happened like maybe not that long ago. 16-year-old boy dies in an accident at a Mississippi poultry plant. A 16-year-old boy from Guatemala died as a result of an on-the-job accident at the poultry plant in Mississippi. It happened about 8 p.m. Workers under the age of 18 are not allowed to work in the poultry plants because it's deemed too dangerous and therefore a violation of labor laws. OSHA and the Labor Department, our Wage and Hourly Division, have launched an investigation. Any company found to be in violation could face federal fines of more than $30,000 per incident. That's the federal fine for somebody losing their fucking life. That's the fucking penalty. And somebody fucking died. A kid died. Working class lives are cheap. Yep. To capitalists. And this was incredibly egregious as Republicans worked to lower the regulations for child labor. It's the second time in 2 years that a worker has died from injuries sustained in the accident at Marjack Poultry Facility. I think the FBI knows Trump's buddies are dangerous. I mean, yeah, but are they going to do anything about it? Prisoners and relatives and former inmates plead for help as death mounts in sweltering Texas prisons. As we talked earlier, the heat is really bad, and is probably going to continue to be really bad. People are fucking dying in prison. In triple digits. The brutal heat inside Texas uncooled prisons has killed prisoners, sickened guards, and cost the state millions of taxpayer dollars in wrongful death and civil rights lawsuits. I mean, they should keep them coming. Though the Texas Department of Criminal Justice has not acknowledged that a prisoner died from the heat since 2012, a multi-university study reported that as many as 13% of deaths in Texas prisons during the warm months during summer could be caused by the heat. This year, since mid-June, at least 9 have died of reported heart attacks or cardiac events in uncooled prisons where the outdoor indices were above 100 degrees. According to the Texas Tribune, another 14 analysis of prison deaths and reports of weather data. At least another 14 have died of unknown causes in extreme heat, often found unresponsive in their cells by prison staff. It's not clear how much of a role, if any, heat played in the 23 deaths. Said, of course, the official. If this was some other country, we'd be invading them. Yeah. But heat-caused deaths are often undercounted and misclassified according to medical experts, and abundance of studies like an increase in fatal heart failures to extreme heat. I mean, like, it's not that out of pocket to, like, see, like, wow, we're experiencing triple-digit temperatures. There's no AC or cooling in these prisons, and people are just falling down, dead. We have even guards who are getting sick, heat sickness. Yeah, no shit. This is inhumane and it's fucked up. All right. And final story. Michigan AG charges 16 GOP activists who falsely claim to be electors in a bid to aid Trump. This is the type of shit I need to see across the board. Michigan Attorney General filed forgery and other felony charges against the 16 Republican activists who signed papers after the 2020 election, falsely indicating that they were the duly appointed presidential electors for the state. Again, imagine there is a coordinated effort by the Republican Party to shoehorn fake electors in an effort to overturn the election. Okay? That's just wild. But finally, we might see some fucking accountability. We'll see. But finally, the case filed by the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, Democrat, represents the first criminal charges related to the efforts by allies of former President Trump to designate alternate slates of electors. The scheme would ultimately become the basis of Trump's last-ditch bid to remain in power. an effort to create a contest or crisis when Congress met up to tally the Electoral College vote and certify Biden's victory. Trump used the existence of those competing slates of electors to pressure his vice president, Mike Pence, to block Biden's election. The would-be electors and their allies have said the alternate slates were part of a contingency plan intended to buttress other legal moves by Trump to challenge the election results. However, those legal challenges famously fizzled in court, leaving those who signed the documents and others who organized these efforts facing investigation and potential legal jeopardy. In a statement Thursday, Nacelle dismissed the notion that the self-styled electors were part of a legitimate challenge to the election. It's scary, and it's going to get worse while both temperatures without AC are literally deadly. Yes, they are. This plan to reject the will of voters and undermine democracy was fraudulent and legally baseless. The evidence will demonstrate there was no legal authority for the false electors to purport to act as duly elected presidential electors and execute the false electoral documents. Every serious challenge to the election has been denied, dismissed, or otherwise rejected by the time the false electors were convened. There's no legitimate legal avenue or plausible use of such document or alternative slate of electors. The news comes as Trump has revealed that he's been informed that he's a target of the special counsel's Jack Smith's sprawling investigation into his effort to subvert the 2020 election, a multi-part scheme that included assembling false slates of electors in 7 states won by Biden. Smith has not indicated what he's considering charging for Trump or any of his allies, but he has eyed aspects of false elector scheme. So we will see what comes of this. We'll definitely be taking a look at this, but this is a step in the right direction. Hopefully the other states like Georgia, who are actively investigating these plots to overturn the election, I hope the other states follow suit as well, and all of these fuckers get held to account. All of them. Because this is like the type of shit that you cannot let this type of stuff slide. Otherwise, they're going to keep trying again. So serious jail time and serious consequences for these fuckers. All right, folks. I do have to get going. It is past 7:30, so I do have to get going to dinner. Folks, if you do enjoy the content, you enjoyed your stay, make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. And as Michael Hassler posted the link on the YouTubes, if you want to help the channel and can't help the channel monetarily, please head on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We're at 243, so I appreciate that. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you to Left Flank Vets for bringing all of you wonderful folks over. Quick shout out to Left Flank Vets. Quick shout out to Alyosher. I'm always liking the videos on YouTube. Doing the Lord's work. Thank you, SV Harkin. Shout out. I think I saw Surfer McGritty earlier. Thank you guys so much. Sovereign Citizen, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cheers. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the raid. Left Flank Vets, thank you. Thank you for the biddies as well. Abon, I appreciate all the support. Thank you, Michael Hassler and Heat, for keeping it chill in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. You guys have a nice evening. Thank you for stopping by, folks. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Zesty Zebra, thank you for the follow. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys next time tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Alright, let's show the surf some love, alright? Let's stay on the raid wave and give the surf some love. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya, for real this time. Bye-bye.